These people, what do we learn from them? They looked at an innocent boy, a very handsome man. They said, no, we'll make money out of this. Come, bring him into this. They sold him at the next market. Someone bought him, a very wealthy man bought him. And in a nutshell, what had happened? The wife of this minister of Egypt had an evil intention. When she saw this handsome man, handsome Yusuf, alayhi salatu wasalam, she says, you know what? He's a worker for us. He works for us. Let me advance sexually. How many of us are guilty of making sexual advances at the workplace? Let's be honest. This lesson comes from Surah Yusuf. Whether it is male or female is besides the point. The lesson is, don't ever make sexual advances that are haram, especially at the workplace. If someone is working for you, and don't think that this person here is actually under me, so let me try my luck. Allahu Akbar. May Allah safeguard us. Look at the example. Who would have guessed that we learned this from the surah? So Surah Yusuf, the Nabi of Allah, was actually someone attempted to lure him, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected him. And thereafter this lady became so upset, so angry, that then the people, the other ladies, obviously everyone speaks about that lady because she is the minister's wife. She is supposed to have been a role model for everyone. The other ladies began to speak and they said, you know, this lady here, she actually wants to do something with her own workers. Imagine, may Allah protect us all. So she said, let me fix these ladies. They don't know how handsome this man is. So she prepared a little sitting for them and gave each one of them an apple with a knife, a fruit with a knife. And she told Yusuf alayhi salatu wassalam, because he was a worker, he had to obey the instructions. I want you to pass from here when they are all seated. As he passed, they were so engrossed in looking that they cut their hands. Allahu Akbar. Imagine how handsome he must have been. They were so engrossed in looking that they cut their hands and they said, Ma hadha bashara, in hadha illa malakun kareem. This is no ordinary human being. This is an angel. This is an angel. Allahu Akbar. What do we learn from this? Let's draw a jewel from it. We learn from it that whenever our eyes and our gaze is not controlled, and we happen to look at the opposite sex more than what we are allowed, in that case it will result in destruction of one way or another. Let me give you an example. Sometimes you're driving your motor vehicle and someone happens to pass quite good looking and you turn, you might bump the car in front of you. It can happen. Why? It's similar to cutting the hand. It will cause bodily harm, material harm, it will cause lots of harm. It's a fact. Sometimes if you engage in an act, you might end up with a huge disease. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala safeguard us. So this is a lesson to say, anyone who wants to follow that path, there is destruction coming your way. Do you know that we are taught by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that when you have wealth, a salary at the end of the month or wealth, and there is no barakah in it, no barakah at all, ask yourself, you probably engaged in a sin. You're probably oiling some of your bad habits. Maybe casino, maybe gambling, maybe drinking, maybe nightclubs, maybe drugs, maybe a woman, maybe someone of the opposite sex. You need to pay money, you need to look after someone more than what Allah has shouldered upon you. How can there be barakah in your wealth? So if you find your money is running away quickly, leave the sins and you will find that 500 rands will last the whole month. You'll still have 450 inshallah. May Allah grant us barakah in our wealth. This is a very important lesson we learn from in Surah Yusuf as well. So from the jail term, he was made a minister and he was given a chance to cleanse himself because he refused to become the minister until he was allowed to ask the ladies a question, who was guilty, me or you? And they actually had to confess to say, you know what, we were the guilty ones, you were innocent. So whoever is accused falsely, Allah will give you the opportunity to clarify your name one day inshallah. If not today, then in the akhirah inshallah. Thereafter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about how the brothers had come to him begging him for food. Now look, what lesson do we learn from this? Those who plan the downfall of others, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will drop them lower than those whom they are planning the downfall of. To the degree that one day they might come begging to the same person that they had planned and plotted against at some point. So, two lessons. One is we should not plan and plot against someone else. Leave it to Allah. And two is when someone plans and plots against us, don't stress, don't grieve. The story of Yusuf alayhi salam is there as an example for myself and yourselves. So alhamdulillah, when they came, a long story occurred and thereafter it resulted in them being united with the whole family. And there are many stories. In fact, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam had lost his eyesight. And Yusuf alayhi salam says, take my shirt and go and drop it, go and give it to my father, his sight will come back. Thereafter Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about how the parents came together and everyone came together, and then the statement was made by Yusuf alayhi salam, Ya abati hadha ta'weelu ru'yaya min qabl. Oh my father, this is the interpretation of the dream that I had in the very beginning of the sun, the moon and the 11 stars. So the sun was depicting the father of the house, the moon was depicting the mother of the house, and we've got to listen to this carefully, and the stars were depicting the 11 children.